Jellify.com launched in 2017. They broke $1 million in revenue the first year. Today, doing $50 million in revenue across 75 customers. That's up from $25 million back in 2020. 50% of the revenue is SaaS, 50% is consulting. He sold his first company for all cash, is what I foresee, to Accenture for, call it, somewhere between 50 and 100 million bucks. Now on round two here, as he looks to continue to scale, he's raised about 30 million bucks total. Last round was a Series A of 15 million in 2019 and a 79 million post-money valuation. Hey folks, my guest today is Fabio Nalucci. He's been an entrepreneur and investor and founded a company called Jellify in 2017, which helps support corporate innovation. Specifically, it's an innovation platform helping corporates innovate through B2B SaaS products. Before Jellify, he sold I4C Analytics to Accenture, becoming sales global lead for analytics software. And in 2020, he launched FNDX Ventures, a VC advisory company with 500 million AUM, including its investment vehicle. Fabio, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So real quick, what did you learn selling I4C Analytics to Accenture?
It was 2014, actually, in US. It was a very exciting experience. I learned so much from that experience in the past, and it was the starting point of my investment career because it was very, let's say, liquid after that deal. So
that's great. What was the sale price on that deal?
Oh, it's still undisclosed because, as you can imagine, they are listed. But I can say that was more on the 100 million figure than on the 50 million figures, just to give
fair.
you the ballpark.
So between 50 and 100 million, closer to 100 million, was a bunch of that stock or was it mostly cash for you?
No, exclusively cash, because as you can imagine, they are listed, so they don't do equity swap in any case. Then they give you some shares, but after you stay, and is sort of a bonus when you stay.
And Fabio, was I4C bootstrapped or had you raised capital?
No, actually, it was the former way of doing ventures, because I started like in 2007, and so no capital raised and completely bootstrapped. So I was, let's say, the main shareholder.
Wow, that's very cool. We have to get you to come speak at one of our events and tell us that story. We love a bootstrapper, exiting. That's great. Let's fast forward now into Jellify. What is Jellify doing, and is it a pure play SaaS company?
No, it is not completely pure SaaS company, because actually what we do is supporting clients, large corporate mainly, in doing corporate innovation, and we have an internal platform, which is basically the typical SaaS platform. But at the same time, we do some bunch of services. We are going to close 50 million this year in revenues.
50 million?
Yes, exactly.
And what was revenue last year?
Was roughly 25.
Okay, and how much of the 25 was SaaS versus consulting?
You can say roughly 50% is something reasonable. So
12.5 million was SaaS, 12.5 consulting.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, and so I mean, this is something very interesting for because it's already a platform for innovation, which is already acting in 3 different geos. Italy, Spain, and Middle East. I choose that areas because, and that geos, because honestly, I think that teaching how to do innovation in US and UK is too aggressive, and so I decided to stay in niche market, but anyway, very rewarding in terms of potential market share. So that was the choice, and we are now planning to open up in new geos in Europe, and then maybe in the future US as well.
So Fabio, on just the SaaS side, what's the average company paying for your software?
Oh, consider that it really depends on the vertical market, because we are much more aggressive in pricing for banks. Just to make an example, and large corp in the industrial sector, while we are less aggressive when it comes to let's say.
Fabio,
energy,
what's the average? If I forced you into an average, what would you say? 100 grand a year, 10 grand a year?
It's more in 100K a year.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here, and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview.
And how many customers today are you working with?
It's roughly, you can count 25 large corp clients, which are my preferred one. Then we have roughly 50 in SME, small medium enterprises. It means from 500 million to 2 billion in revenues. And honestly, in these clients, the size of our platform is actually less in terms of pricing. I mean,
So Fabio, if you did $25 million in revenue last year across about 75 customers, that means the average customer paid something around $330,000 for the year. Is that about right?
Yeah, correct. On average, obviously, you have some spike and you have some outlier in the.
What's the largest customer pay you per year? Any $1 million customers?
We have a bank, a large bank, for which we have roughly 3 million a year contract multi-year. So just to make an example, this is what I define a spike or an outlier of our clients.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, obviously, you can't build a $100 million revenue business without a couple that pay you more than $1 million per year. Did they start off at $3 million a year, or did you expand them? And if so, teach us how you drove the expansion.
It's a typical letter expand, and when we enter, it was more like 500K. But then in 3 years' time, we were able to grow that business till this 3 million multi-year for the next 3 years. But what we are doing is actually having enablement of internal users to expand to a different level. Even because one of our strategy on the platform is having some, let's say, a plug-in from our startup portfolio, because we also invest in startups that are useful to create more traction into our platform. So what we can have is what we define meta platform. So our proprietary platform with plugins coming from different enabling technologies of our startups.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Now, how many folks are full-time at the company today?
Roughly 300.
300. How many are engineers?
85%.
Oh, wow. Okay. So maybe like 230 or so are engineers.
Yeah, absolutely. We have then small corporate functions, some marketing, as you can imagine, administration stuff, and a bunch of sales guys. But most of the sales are driven by our, let's say, the network of our managing partners.
Now, I guess walk me through the sales reps. How many of them carry a quota?
We have what we call client success tribe that is composed by 16 people nowadays.
Okay, interesting. And I guess funding history. You bootstrapped I4C before you sold to Accenture. Are you bootstrapping Jellyfy, or have you raised?
No, I raised till now 30 million.
Okay, take me to the last round. What year was it?
15.
In 2015?
No, sorry. I said the 15 was the money raised as the last round. That was in 2019.
2019, you raised $15 million. Would you consider that your Series A?
I consider this Series A.
Yeah.
Yes. Now we have some, because we are profitable, which is very important nowadays, because as you can imagine, in the last 12 months, the words of VC changed completely. And we have some P's fund, let's say, asking to enter in the company with much bigger round, because there is a lot of interest for profitable companies.
Now, in 2019, when you did that round, most folks in their Series A's are selling 10% of the company. Were you also selling about 10% of the business?
It was slightly more than 10%.
Okay.
But yes, I think it's reasonable.
So something like $100 million post-money valuation, maybe you sold 15%.
Slightly less.
Okay.
It was in 80-ish, 79 to be
79. That's
79,
post-money?
Yeah. This was the pre-money.
Pre-money. Okay, cool. That's very good. So call it 99 post. That's great. Any money raised before that or no?
Yes. We raised another 15, so the total raise was 30 in 3 previous round, and this was the last one at 15.
And so before 2019,
so total,
I know before 2019, when did you raise the other 15 million?
2017, the first, let's say, seed round that was actually for starting the company, because I have let's say, a very good network of people saying, okay, if you start something else, we give you the money directly. And then another one in 2018 in the second half, and then in the second half of 2019.
So again, in 2018,
because it was the COVID.
In 2018, how much did you raise in that round?
10. So
okay,
we did 5 before, 10, and 15.
Yeah, that's what I was looking. You made me work really hard for that. That's what I was looking for. So 5 million seed round, 15 million, or maybe 5 million pre-seed, 10 million seed, 15 million Series A, 30 million total raised to date. Yeah, many people are going to go, wait, why did he give up on a bunch of the company? He's already rich. Doesn't he want to keep equity? Why didn't he just fund it with his own money?
I think it's pretty common nowadays. I see a lot of, let's say, rich people anyway raising money from others. I think that is part of the reason is having some partners that are good enough to have an influence in the story. Just to make an example, in the last round, a very big bank entered into the company, and so that helps. For example, closing that contract with the bank I was mentioning before. So I rather prefer to have some partners in the journey that helps in growing the company. So
that's great.
I think it's
two other revenue benchmarks. Two other revenue benchmarks I want to grab from you before we wrap up. When did you cross 10 million in revenue? What year?
It was 2 years after the launch of the company, after the starting of the company in late 2019.
2019, 10
no, we
million.
started the company in November 2017, and so late 2019 was around 10 million.
That's great. And when did you
just before COVID?
Yeah, when did you pass 1 million in revenue? Do you remember?
The first year.
Okay, wow. So for first year, wow.
Yeah,
and that was just a big customer or people you'd already worked with.
No, I already worked with. I mean, it's not the thing you do when you are, let's say, 23 years founders. I mean, I'm 47, so it was easy because have a lot of clients trust me, and so it was the first meeting was like asking for okay, guys, we start something new, please sign here.
Yeah, that's great.
Not
Fabio,
a big deal, honestly.
Fabio, on that note, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite book?
The book of Nike, the story of Nike.
Shoe Dog is a good one. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I think that actually I don't want to be, let's say, very easy in the but Elon Musk is something I really follow and study for many different reasons.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building the company?
Sorry, you said
your favorite online tool.
Oh, this is a very good one. I've never thought about that, honestly. I don't know.
What did you use this morning?
This morning, I actually used my car because I was racing in Misano circuit. So
no, Fabio, an online tool that you used: Figma, Google Calendar, G Suite, HubSpot.
No, honestly, is mainly email. So I do 95% of my time using Outlook. I mean,
all right.
I'm not a tool fan. Okay.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
No, I typically sleep 7 hours. I go to bed at 10 p.m. and I wake up at 5.
And situation: married, single, kids?
You can imagine. I have a wonderful wife and one daughter.
One
so
daughter.
This is the reason why I go to sleep very.
And you said you're 47 years old, right?
Yes.
Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
I think having better idea on how the VC works.
Guys, there we have it. Jelify.com launched in 2017. They broke $1 million in revenue the first year. Today, doing $50 million in revenue across 75 customers. That's up from $25 million back in 2020. 50% of the revenue is SaaS, 50% is consulting. He sold his first company for all cash, is what I4C, to Accenture for, call it, somewhere between 50 and 100 million bucks. Now on round two here, as he looks to continue to scale. He's raised about 30 million bucks total. Last round was a Series A of 15 million in 2019 and a 79 million post-money valuation. Fabio, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.